Hi, grade 7s. Today what we're going to do is we're going to start multiplying some decimal numbers together, and we're doing this all by hand. There's no technology allowed, no calculators. You're going to get into the calculators and the problem solving next day, but today what we're doing is we're doing this by hand. Now the neat thing is, really, multiplying things with decimals is not really any different than multiplying whole numbers, and you're going to see that just in a second. So here's what we got. We got a question here for you to try. 1.2, so 1 and 2 tenths times 2 and 4 tenths, and we want to calculate the answer to this. Couple things just as we're getting going. So I'm going to get my thought bubble out here. It's not the prettiest thought bubble I'll ever see, but let's just think about this. If we rounded both of these numbers down, what we would end up getting here is we would get 1 times 2. We get an answer of 2. Okay? If I rounded both of these numbers up, 1.2 would go up to 2, 2.4 would go up to 3, and I would get an answer of 6. So somehow our answer here should be between 2 and 6 if I do this right. Because in the first case I rounded both of my numbers down, in the second case I rounded both numbers up. So therefore I know my answer should be between 2 and 6. So let's see how we do this. So first thing I would say, first step is, hey, get rid of those decimal places. Let's make this simpler. 12 times 24. All right. Now, if you were multiplying 12 times 24, one way, this isn't the only way, but I think a nice way, is we can use this little grid. Now, remember, you're writing both of these in expanded form, so 12 can be now 10 and 2. You just put a line between them. 24 can be 20 and 4, and we're just going to grid this up a little bit, and you can see in each of these openings here we're going to do a multiplication. So our first multiplication in this spot here is going to be 20 times 10, which is 2 times 1 is 2, and there's 2 zeros, so it's 200. Let's move down to the bottom corner here. So we're going to do 2 and 20 coming down here. So 20 times 2, we're just doubling 20, which you can see is 40. Let's go to the top right corner. So we're going to bring the 10 across and the 4. Well, 10 times 4, we know that one. I'm going to grab my black pen. Gives us 40. Now we're going to the bottom. So we got 2 and 4 coming at you in this bottom right corner. 2 times 4 gives us 8. So you've done this before. This is things that you've done many, many times by now. Now let's add them together. So 200 plus 40 plus 40 plus 8. And you can see here, when we add these all up, we get 288. So here's our answer. Now, 12 times 24 is 288. 1 and 2 tenths times 2 and 4 tenths is going to have the same digits. It's going to be 288. But now the question ends up being, where does that decimal place go? Well, if you take a peek over here at our estimate, we know our answer should be between 2 and 6. So you can probably make a guess here that our decimal place is going between that 2 and 8. Another way that you can figure out where that decimal place goes is this question. 1 decimal 2 has 1 decimal place there. 2 decimal 4 has another decimal place, that's a second. So therefore our answer should have 2 decimal places because there was 2 in the question. So I'm going to take my decimal place, I'm going to put it right in there. Our answer is 2 and 88/100ths. So really important that you notice, multiplying decimal numbers, same as multiplying regular numbers. The only difference is change them to whole numbers, and then at the end you can determine how many decimal places it is. Have a good one, grade 7s.